Hello, I'm George Buchanan, and today we're going to be talking about reading between the lies, a classification scheme of types of reply to misinformation in public discussion threads. So what is misinformation? Put simply, it's any information that's inaccurate or misleading. It might be spread unintentionally or intentionally. Usually if it's intentional misinformation to disrupt or discourage, and as we call it, disinformation. Now, we're not going to be looking at any of the subtypes. We'll just look at misinformation as a whole. So we're going to be looking specifically at misinformation on public comment sites, sites where the public are encouraged to make commentary on ideas, media, or speculation. This could be solely on conventional social media, such as Twitter, but it also emerges on more conventional media, such as newspapers, where they will encourage readers to post their ideas and responses to the current news of the day. So what about the replies where one's actually given? Are there a few limited, almost identical replies that people make, or is there a wider range and some volume of different subtle variations that we might find? And if we think about the different platforms, say YouTube, which has got a reputation for being highly combative and confrontational, or Twitter, which is supposed to be very often an echo chamber, are they in fact much more similar to each other, or are they rather different? And what about the contrast between conventional social media and other points where there's commentaries such as on newspaper websites or discussion boards? These are questions we don't really know the answer to, and it's those that our research started to try and engage with.
Let's take a look at some example patterns that we found in real data where people have replied to posts containing misinformation. Keep an eye out on the captions so you can see the different types of individual reply as we go through each example. Here is a drive-by where the original poster of misinformation makes a comment but never returns to the discussion. They don't respond to any replies to their original message. This is common on all platforms, but less frequent on YouTube discussion threads.
Battery-powered cars are a lie. They just move the problem to coal power. There's not enough metal or power in the world to charge even 1 million cars.
You're just making that up. There's no evidence to support that.
A car manufacturing plant was built near me. They make electronic drives there. The whole roof is a big solar panel, and they actually sell spare electricity. Your ideas are so 1970s.
You need to search for smart grid and get the idea of how this all works.
Your ideas are hot air. Wind power alone creates surplus energy we can store in cars or even take back out if it's needed.
This is a ding-dong, where two posters take opposite positions and exchange a long sequence of posts, making and rebutting claims and counterclaims, often with little movement. This was frequently seen on YouTube, where the strongest disagreements were found.
The BBC peddling the climate change hoax again. Attenborough appears yet again reading from hard left ideology and showing no understanding of the real science. He has no idea. It's embarrassing.
Why do smart people cite experts? You make no sense.
It makes sense to ignore the real smarts who don't play their agenda.
Sure, if you never took science and thought agendas have anything to do with science, has the periodic table got an agenda? What have the Koch brothers got against atomic weights today?
I'm pleased you agree that the climate agenda is a fraud. Almost every scientist of every persuasion agree this is a hoax.
You might want to get a bigger tinfoil hat. That one is cutting off the blood to your brain.
Now we see the infamous echo chamber, where all replies agree with the original poster and none disagree with or correct the original misinformation. All these replies endorse the original misinformation. This was particularly common on Twitter, which had nearly twice as many echo chambers as newspapers and YouTube put together.
A real lesson for the States. COVID is real, but almost no one dies. Our president can show the country that. Positive tests, are almost all false. Most people have no symptoms. The majority of the rest have a mild cold. Take HCQ and zinc for 3 days and recover every single time.
The president will recover. No problem.
Exactly. Thanks for the reminder of reality, not COVID fear.
All those false positives are there to stoke the fear.
Sugar shrooms work too. Vitamin C. Boost the immune system and thrive.
And this is a broken record, where a poster repeatedly posts the same or highly similar content in reply to multiple counterpoints. Here, the poster of the misinformation, or someone who replies to it, keeps on repeating the same claims, even if countered or disproved by others. Therefore, they sound like a broken record.
The EU is still stopping us from leaving. We are being held prisoner. We still cannot make our own laws.
We are out already, mate.
You are already gone. Stop moaning.
It's just not true. We are still in the EU. Parliament is powerless.
Herranen aika. We allowed you out provided you paid before you left. You've paid, so now you're gone.
We're glad to see you go. Just you don't seem like there have been consequences to actions in life. Close the door on your way out, would you?
No, they won't let us go.
As of 1st of January, we are no longer members. That's months ago.
And now, back to the studio.
So we're just at the starting line of research into how people interact with misinformation. More concretely, from what we already have, we could extend this work looking to see if we can build up a more quantitative perspective of the different types of misinformation that we've seen. However, there are mechanisms beyond that, social and technical, that we can also look to investigate. We've seen differences between platforms. Can we understand the source of those and then start to change the mechanisms with which platforms work in order to mitigate the threat of misinformation? Also, we've seen different types of reply. Do those in turn lead to a greater likelihood that misinformation will be carried onwards to other readers, or will it in fact reduce the chances that some people will be fooled by or taken in by that misinformation, or that it appears less frequently in, say, search results? There's a whole host of research questions such as this, and we very much look forward to seeing what people are going to do. Thank you very much for your attention, and we look forward to your questions. If you'd like to engage with us, please do post questions on Twitter using our handles and the Cheer Conference Twitter handle as well.